It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Yes, the Puljujärvi is not on the ice, and he is also not on waivers today. It's either a maintenance day or he's traded. Find out later in the episode as we continue to watch updates from Oilers. That would be the way to go down. You know what? I'm off tomorrow. Marshall's got his first ever out-of-town hockey tournament, so we're heading to Camera. We'll do some tournament memories in a second. Yes, the Puljujärvi being traded when I'm not on the air the next morning would be the shittiest thing ever for me. I'd have to cancel this vacation or this tournament and be like, sorry, Tam, I got to go into work. Oilers traded JP. Gage, I can't be on the air the next day. My God, that would kill me.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I think you should, if it does happen, it might be best for you to take the weekend, Dusty. Just come back fresh.
That's a good point.
Longer weekend.
Have a good cry.
Yeah.
It's like the future of my career, probably.
Yeah. Just decompress.
Yeah.
And hit it hard on Tuesday because it's we got another
few days,
maybe
right?
You can get together with the Puljujärvi family and
it'd be good.
Yeah,
he can come to the mountains with us in Canmore for a few days, and then I'll fly with him to Carolina, where he'll go on to win a Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes this year. That would be great. All right. So anyway, a situation to monitor there. Gager, I noticed that you're once again not wearing your leather jacket. Interesting. I find that very interesting. Like, are you leather guy or are you not leather guy? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Oh,
he's a leather guy. He loves
this market
leather.
Needs a leather guy. It's sitting there for
he's
you,
leather
Gage.
guy, and you know what? You know what I like to assume about Gager, Dusty, is when he's not wearing leather up top, he's wearing leather down below. Like there's leather somewhere. We might not see it, but it's there.
Yeah,
feels good in your skin, right, Gager?
Oh yeah. Just but it's tough to get off sometimes, a little sweaty like Ross. Tried the baby powder, don't use baby powder.
Is there any appetite to be that guy, like Tom Gazzola's hair guy in the market? Gager has a very unique fashion style, some would say. I think there's Gene's the funny guy. Stoff's the guy who takes everything very seriously, loves the Golden Bears. Jack's the guy who gets very excited. Louis is a really good, I think there's open for, like Bob McCowan always wore his glasses, Gager.
Yeah.
That's you, man, with the leather.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Oilers, since I haven't worn it, Oilers haven't won, right? So
there's that
I
too.
might have to
Time to get back.
Time to get back
leather,
on,
dude.
Back on the horse, as they say.
Are you on Oilers Plus over the weekend, or?
Yeah, I've got double duty. I think I'm doing Oilers Plus and the Sportsnet.
So you have to bring two jackets and switch in between, which I think would be.
I'll only bring one, man. I think it's Friday night leather. That's on Sportsnet. That would be something else. I think
you got to go full Ren McCormick, Kevin Bacon, and Footloose, because he'd wear the leather jacket and the leather tie. Or you got to wear that leather tie,
the zipper
too.
tie.
Zipper tie. Leather zipper tie. I used to have a leather zipper tie.
Oh, yeah.
Cass, you're a little bit younger than us. Did you ever roll leather zipper tie? No.
No.
Oh, I feel bad for
I
you.
got leather. I got some of my old junior stuff because they give you stuff to wear on the roads, and so it's I got a good Vancouver Giants leather jacket. It's actually pretty nice. I kept it because I'm like, oh, that'll be a cool keepsake. Keep in the closet for I don't know what. My wife's like, why do you still need this? I'm like, I just kind of want to keep a leather jacket around just in case.
You never know. I don't have any leather. I'm not leather guy. I'm not trying to become leather guy, right?
No, me neither. Me neither. No, that's Gager. Gager is leather
exactly.
guy.
Gager's leather guy. Gager, you remember leather zipper ties, right?
I distinctly remember my first because playing Pee Wee. I think we had to start dressing up, and I had a purple zipper leather tie. That was great. It was awesome. Zip up, perfect.
So I don't know why those didn't last longer. That was so convenient. I don't think anybody's still rolling leather zipper ties anymore, but yeah, we'll see. We're gonna get to the Oilers game, obviously, last night. If anybody's watching on the Twitter channel or YouTube, and something actually does come up about Yes, the Puljujärvi, pass it along. I'm not going to be able to keep tabs on everything here while we're doing this. And we'll get into the game last night, but I'm taking off to Canmore for the weekend. Marshall's first out-of-town hockey tournament with the White Mud West 306 Raptors rolling in. And look, I remember, we'll get into some of these memories, but he's so fired up. He's got, Tammy found him like this little sort of gray winter dress coat. And I'm like, hey, you got to remember your Raptors hoodie, your White Mud West jacket, all this stuff. And he goes, and my fancy hockey game jacket. I was just like, oh, you're going to wear that? He goes, yes, for the tournament. I'm going to wear my fancy gray jacket to the games. I was like, that's my boy. I like it. So, do you guys have one tournament from your minor hockey days that really stands out? Is there anything that jumps off the page for you guys? Or you guys probably played in a ton of them along. I mean, I played in a ton of them along the way, and I didn't do shit with hockey. So you guys must have some that jump off the page for you, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking back to that purple leather tie. I remember, I remember the tournament in Vernon. What really sticks out was kind of the conversation with my parents on the drive home. But I remember liquor and adultery. I think was the main, like the amount of booze I remember in one of the parents' rooms. Like it was like 1260s of everything.
What?
And the parents just got destroyed. Like I think some kids were late to the game because the parents didn't wake up. We did all right that tournament. We did all right. That was the tournament I got. I think I got the Vancouver Canucks, the V big winter jacket. So, but mini sticks, too much time in the pool.
Somebody was telling me that mini sticks aren't allowed in some of these hotels now. Yeah.
Really?
Can you believe that?
Garbage rule.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to be pissed because I plan on crushing the entire team in mini sticks. I can't wait. I'm bringing knee pads and everything. I'm going to be ready to go. I think it's going to be great. What about Cass? What about a tournament memory for you, buddy? Anything?
I'm trying, and I think this was, I want to say it was Devon. I'm trying to remember which rink this was at, but one of the first tournaments that had the bowling alley in it. It had like 2 bowling lanes. I think it was Devon. I don't know if it's still there, but I remember being at a tournament and they had bowling lanes.
Bowling lanes in the rink?
In the rink, like not on the ice, but it was like part of the rink.
Yeah, well,
for some reason,
not on the ice.
Yeah, obviously not on the ice. So someone could remind us. I think it was Devon, or maybe it was either Devon or it could have been Drayton Valley. I guess I can't remember which one it was. It was out that direction, and they had bowling alleys. I just remember thinking of how cool it was. It was like we can go bowling in between the games, and that was really fun. Other one would have been my very first tournament, except it was in Saskatoon. So I remember going and we were driving with another family, being in the back when you didn't have to wear seatbelts.
Yes.
So we were like stretched out, laying back there, and one of the other kids that was driving because we were carpooling, he had a Game Boy, which I didn't have like a Game Boy or didn't have like or no, he didn't have. It wasn't a Game Boy, so it was the Sega version, whatever that was, like the Sega handheld. And I didn't have a Game Boy. I didn't have a Sega version, and he had like the Aladdin game on that. I just remember we just went back and forth playing that thing like for the whole 5 hours. But it felt like a million years. Is like where you take like multiple naps. You're like, oh, I'm so tired of this drive, and you're just like sleeping the whole way. And so I don't remember anything about the actual tournament. I just remember I remember the drive out there.
Well, part of it's getting there. Like I remember one tournament we had. There's this kid. I think he was like a second year. We were first years, and my parents were driving, and we passed like all other 10 cars on the team that were driving to this tournament. And everyone we went by, this Ben kid would moon them. Like he'd whip out his ass and just posture against the thing. And I was like maybe 10 at the time. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And we named him Bear Butt Ben for the rest of the season. It was a thing. And I remember a tournament we were playing in Invermere. And I was a goalie. And the other goalie in our team was like the size. We were probably 12, maybe 13, I think 12. The other goalie on our team was like the size of Jack Campbell right now, like this giant. So we get tournament final. We just alternated back and forth. We get in the tournament final. I was on Kimberley. We were playing the Cranbrook team in the final. It's 3-3, goes to a shootout. And my one coach tried to take me out of the net after getting to the shootout and put this other kid in. Oh. And I was like, oh.
He McT'd you.
I started skating over to the bench, and luckily the assistant coach was like, "No, we're not pulling the goalie for the shootout," which is good because my mom would have choked this guy to death with her bare hands. So, and we ended up winning the shootout. So, but man, that still pissed me off to this day that he's going to yank me in that shootout situation. Just bullshit. But at the same time, a great transition to shootouts, which is what we can do from last night. So, I mean, McDavid walks in, nice little snipe. Cass Kane's like 3 for 25. Hyman had never shot in a shootout before. Take me inside, like, where do you guys come out on having like a guy like Matty Hendricks, who's money, like a couple of specialists, or just rolling your stars out there all the time? Cass, where do you come out on that?
I'm really hoping that they have done it enough in practice that they have an idea of who's pretty good at them. Because I talked about this with Tommy, and we've actually talked about this a whole bunch, is why not get a guy like Dylan Holloway out there that you know is a goal scorer? And yes, he doesn't play top line minutes, but he's a goal scorer. I mean, that was his game. Hyman has never taken one. So that tells me back on the other teams. I mean, he wasn't, now you had like Matthews and Marner and Nylander and other guys that you were going to put in a shootout before Hyman when he was in Toronto, but never taken a shot before. Kane, not a great percentage average. So I'm just kind of like, well, what about some of these other guys? Have you done enough in practice that you have a general idea, or are you just kind of hoping that they work? Because I don't know. Where's Struddy when you need him?
deep down the list. That's where Struddy is when you need him. Gager, your thoughts on running just the big guys out there as opposed to maybe like Holloway nowadays, kids nowadays, like they all got sick mitts. They all got moves coming out their ass. I would think, I mean, maybe mix it in. It's not like the others haven't had much success in overtime or shootout so far this year.
Yeah. I keep McDavid because
he's Connor McDavid.
Because he's Connor McDavid. But to me, Leon, he's fighting it. I was surprised they actually had him go. Just no speed, no misdirection, just coming in and shooting the puck. I've always thought, and even when I played, and let me know if it was on the same as you, Cass, it seemed like in shootouts, defensemen do a better job. And I don't know if it's because I think the book's out on a few guys on what they do and what they go to. Like I knew right away that Hyman was going to come straight and try to beat him with speed and do that backhand thing, because that's what he used before, right? Like sometimes defensemen are a little bit more, they have a little bit more patience in the shootouts, I find, and they're more creative for some reason. That's how I felt, and I didn't really know what they were going to do. I was puzzled. So I would definitely switch it up. I'd throw Barry in there. Just anyone. Devin Shore. I mean, he didn't play, but he had some pretty good moves in the shootout scoring, right? Like a specialist is definitely what you need. I guess it's kind of tough when you have the two top scorers in the league, and if one of them doesn't go, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I was puzzled with putting Leon in there, actually.
Well, he's been struggling. Maybe you're trying to think, giving him another opportunity to bust out of it a little bit.
Yeah,
chance to be the hero, and he's one of the best players in the world. So
yeah,
I mean, like let's just imagine it this way: if let's say McDavid shoots first or Nuge, and then you have McDavid, and then you put Hyman in third instead of
Draisaitl, like with the game on the line.
With the game on the line, and Hyman doesn't score, and you lose in the third round. Just as a aside, well, we probably sit here going like, oh man, I probably would have put Draisaitl in, one of the best players in the world. Like, so I mean, for me, it's a little bit of darned if you do, darned if you don't with Draisaitl in a shootout, where he's one of the best guys in the world. And to me, like, it should be a good shootout lineup. Like Nuge is typically pretty good, McDavid typically pretty good, and even historically, if we look at Draisaitl, like his numbers are pretty good. So I don't know what you necessarily change. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if you can really change anything, outside in the top three guys, the first three that you put out there. It's the next guys. Like if it goes to 4 or 5 rounds, that's when you're kind of like, okay, you have a shootout specialist or someone else you can put in here, because, Kane doesn't have a fantastic historic record with it. And now Hyman's 0 for 1.
Kane actually has a horrible historic record. He's 3 for 25 now. I'd rather probably run out a guy who hasn't done it before in that situation.
Well, that's where you would have went. I would have went with like a Holloway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fully agree with you.
I didn't like Campbell in the shootout. To tell you the truth, when
Gager, that winner seemed it kind of like went off his pad and then in, right? It wasn't that brilliant of goal. That winner.
Was it just me, Gager? Or I know you're going to break it down because I want you to do that, but to me, he seemed to be pushing across with his chest low to the ice. Like he didn't come across. It was almost like he had to get too low to try to stretch across. Like he got pulled and he sat too far back. Like he backed up too quick. He sat too far back in his net. He wasn't aggressive in his positioning. That was my observation. But Gager, you break it down because you're going to be able to pick this apart.
It was good because I could see where I was where I am on the panel there. I liked the way that he challenged and came back. Like I thought his timing was good. But you're right, Cass. It's like when I do a shootout now. If a guy makes a move, I probably just won't bite on the first one. But the second one, I just can't move like I used to. So I'm starting to reach and usually end up on my belly. And that's what Campbell looked like, opposed to Husso, where he was moving directly with the shooter and bringing everything with him, right? Especially the Perron goal, like you saw Campbell just kind of throw the pad out and hope for the best instead of really committing and bringing the whole package over to that side. His lateral movement wasn't as good as it has been over the last definitely the last few games, just in those types of scenarios where he's reaching instead of getting his whole body into that place where the shot's gonna come. So yeah, I didn't like what I saw from him definitely in that shootout.
What about the rest of the game there, Gager?
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible until he made that unbelievable
big save in the third. Right, yeah. Huge save in the third.
I really it's unlucky some of those goals, but it's a positional save where he's been making those for the past month. Like he's been in great position. And he even said it, I think, Cass. Didn't he say on the first goal he's been more patient and he wasn't at that point? So yeah.
You know, he cheated. You can full see it. Like he keeps the inside edge of his left skate planted. Like, so he's got angle to it. So he's got angle so he can push because he's thinking there's no way that Larkin is going to shoot this puck. So he's anticipating that the puck's going to go either, to try to do a slot guy, possibly cross crease, or move back out to someone at the point. Like he's ready to push out and adjust. And you can see him the second he realizes, oh crap, he's not passing it because his toes are below the goal line. His stick is not opening. Like Larkin doesn't pull it to open it. Like he keeps it on his forehand with an angle towards the net, and he tries to slam his left foot back in there. But by that point, it's already too late. Like there's already a 3 or 4 or 5 inch gap off the post where he's not going to be able to close it in time. And he doesn't, and it goes in. Like that may have been the worst one. I mean, I even if you give him one of the bounces, it's like,
nah, man,
I just can't go in, Gager.
I just can't. It's a very poor game, and
and he's been playing a lot better.
He has been playing well, right?
We got roasted, me and Tommy, yesterday. People were just like, "Oh, you guys are so grumpy and poo-pooing all over him." I'm like, but that was the game. Yeah, that was the game. It was Jack Campbell lost them that game. That's not saying that he's played poorly for the last month. That's not saying. I mean, the other reaction we had from people was like, "Buy him out right now," and we're like, well, right. "No, like it's not. It's not either of those. It's like we're not ripping him to shreds, saying he's the worst thing ever right now. No, he's been playing really good hockey the last number of games, but this game was a poor game, and he is the reason they lost. I hate saying that. He's the reason they lost.
And you look at 2 bad goals in the first. And your team is starting to get back into it, like they're starting to take the game over, maybe get a goal, and then the team comes back. Not only are they bad goals, but they're the worst timing when your guys are working so hard to get back in this game and you're letting in a crappy goal. I felt like they were all really stoppable pucks because I think every single one of them touched him in some shape or form too, right? Like just poor performance, great save in the third, locked it down, and they did get a point, but in a small sample size, and it's just one game, and I'm sure he'll be better later, but that was not NHL caliber goaltending of a team that wants to go far in the playoffs.
No, it was sub. And I'll say, like, the only one I didn't really have a problem with was the Mata goal, because I don't think he saw it until the last second. You can see it where he's just kind of in ready position, and then he sees it at the last second and tries to move to save it, but he can't. It's too late. And that one was kind of through traffic, and it was a blast. So that one, I'm like, okay. The fourth one, I go, all right, like, okay, that's a good shot, great shot from the point. Could have used some more help from your team, fine. But the rest of them, I'm just,
yeah. I would have liked him to, because he didn't adjust like where the puck went back. He kind of leaned over a little bit. His positioning was off.
Yeah, he still sat back too far in his crease on that one. Yeah,
but that's really nitpicking.
Yeah,
Gager, would you run back to him here against the Rangers? Or would you just go back to Skinner?
No, I go to Skinner. They've both had subpar performances, and maybe in the beginning of the year that would have been a consideration, Dusty. But at this point, it's too important. And if you're not gonna bring your A game, where they are.
I was just wondering if you wanted him to stew on a shitty game for 3 days, knowing how his confidence can kind of go on him.
He should. Well, from what he said after
seemed positive last night. Yeah,
I think he's fine. Like I would be more worried if I didn't hear that. I think that reassured me a little bit, because this is actually lighting a fire, and the fact that he's not getting the next game, I think will motivate him even more to perform on Sunday or whatever. I think they'll just flip flop.
All right, so Jesse Puljujarvi today, not on the ice. Now, there has been a bug going around the room. They didn't have Desharnais last night, and that hurt, especially in the penalty kill. I mean, he's made it pretty apparent that he belongs and helps his team right now, does Desharnais. So it could be a bug going through the team. We've got somebody asking, any truth to the Oilers making a trade? Seems like something will be announced soon. Well, this is the buzz that you're going to see around the Jesse Puljujarvi situation. Not placed on waivers today, which means Kyler Yamamoto wouldn't be eligible to play tomorrow unless Jesse Puljujarvi is traded. I think they're trying to push this thing back as long as they possibly can, because they don't want to put him on waivers and lose him for nothing. I talked to somebody yesterday around the organization who kind of led to me to believe that if he ends up in Carolina, like if the Hurricanes claim him off waivers for nothing, that the organization will get ripped because, wait a second, he can't play on your team, but the Carolina Hurricanes, who are second in the East, are going to pick him up and play with him. And look, there's 3 young Finnish forwards there. 2 of those guys are well-known buddies. So, it'd be a different situation on that front. How I wanted to bring this around here, though, is I'm already worried for Evan Bouchard when Jesse Puljujarvi is gone. Because there's always one guy, right? Like, Jesse Puljujarvi's become that guy for the last year and a half. And Bouchard checks all the boxes to become, much debated target in city number 2 after Jesse Puljujarvi's gone. The analytics this year say I've already seen the analytics crowd say, hey, man, it's not that bad this year. He's been doing okay. The eye test crowd on, his intensity at certain times and the way he'll get pushed off pucks. Younger guy, younger defenseman, could be sacrificed to make the team better right now. Gage, is this not horrible news for Bouchard if Jesse Puljujarvi is no longer here to talk about?
You make a good point. He might want to change his name to Tom Pody, maybe, or something.
Or Jeff Petrie, or Justin Schultz.
Or Jeff Petrie, Justin Schultz. Yeah, no, it seems like one person does get singled out, and if we were to have a draft on the next guy that the media would start to pick on, I think Bouchard would go number 1, Dusty, in this case. I think it would be a mistake still. I know he hasn't. We question his motivator at times, but I really think we're just seeing the play of a second-year defenseman in the NHL. That
this droid's got a broken motivator.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I look back at Darnell Nurse's second year, right, and everyone was asking for him to be traded, right?
And they still are.
Yeah, a little bit, but not.
He's got $9.5 million per year since then, Gager.
Yeah, so it's worked out. But I mean, look at.
We lost him.
This is exactly what I'm talking about with Bouchard. You know, he's back. Gager, you're back.
Yeah. So, I just second year defenseman. I just said Maurice Seider, I think, even isn't as prolific as he was last year a little bit. I think that second year thing for defenseman, it's just sophomore slump.
He's a young defenseman, man. Like, these guys are going to take time.
Do you guys think that Evan Bouchard likes hockey?
I think he likes hockey. I just think he's probably not a overly emotional person anyway. You know, like, he seems pretty low-spoken. Kind of, I think that's just the way he is. I don't know if it's like he doesn't like hockey.
Do you think there's too many of those guys on the Oilers?
That are too laid back?
That are too laid back.
Not as many as there used to be.
You need Evander Kane as a defibrillator. That's why. I mean, he like the team is better when they're angry.
Cass, let me ask you this, because I was actually talking about this with my father-in-law about, and he was saying, and he asked, how do they not have any jump, and it kind of comes later, and I don't see Connor and Leon as big rah guys. You know,
no, they're not.
I don't think they are. They're lead by example. And he asked me, what about Kane? And I thought about it for a second. I thought, just with his past and in other dressing rooms and people talking about how he's not a good team player, do you think Kane's kind of sat back a little bit and not been too overbearing in the room as of yet? Yeah. Just have,
probably
this is with Connor and Leon's team. So,
yep, he's probably toned it down. But he's not. I wouldn't expect Kane to be that rah guy off the ice. I mean, I expect him to be the element of chaos on the ice. Mm-hmm. So recognizing that, hey, we're not in this. I need to go do something to get us involved in this game emotionally, to pull us in, to pick us up, to spark some adrenaline, to sharpen the focus a little bit. That's where he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it in the dressing room. I mean, to me, it's Darnell's room for that. Like, for that rah, like, push to get everyone going, that's Darnell's room. It should be. From a personality standpoint, from a leadership ability standpoint, from where he fits in the team's scope of defense and quality of play standpoint, that's Darnell's driver, or should be the driver. And Leon and Connor should try to support. They're not necessarily like the big emotional guys that are yelling all the time, but I mean, to me, Darnell's got to take lead in that leadership group on that. And Kane's a support guy in that, but he's a guy that's on the ice. I think that's where he can be an emotional driver. And we've seen him do that or try to do that. Sometimes the team seems to respond, and sometimes it just kind of,
Yeah, I wonder about that. Maybe just start playing the Al Pacino Any Given Sunday speech before each game. I don't know.
That can't get you fired up. Nothing will. Like Bouchard last year in the playoffs, he seemed to handle that intensity fine. I mean, maybe he needs to get that sucked out of him a little bit.
Well, but so I'm just gonna go to a Bouchard play as an example. About 10 minutes left in the third period, going back to retrieve a puck. You'd think he's like 5'6", like 150 pounds, because he just basically cheeses out on absorbing a hit, eating a puck, and turning it into a battle. He basically just kind of, there you go, and I'm gonna try. I don't really want to get a hit here. He's not a small guy.
Yeah,
he's not a small guy. I mean, to me, like, and it was a tough puck to pick up because it was sitting pretty close to the wall, and it's like those are, I know how hard it is to play those, but when it's sitting flat like that, and for me as a checking forward, that was when I can run this guy, or I'm going to get the puck because he's going to bail on it. I just the lackadaisical thought behind the way Bouchard played that was like, did you really just try to outskill this in that moment with your size? Like, if you have a clean pickup, like if it's going to be an easy get off the wall, sure, but it's a continuation of and I've said for a while, like I even the last couple of years, I was like, I thought he was a pretty smart player. the lack of knowing when to have some urgency, because it's a difference of there's times to be patient, there's times to be urgent, and he just doesn't seem to differentiate between the two. And for me, for that, it was like, okay, play with some urgency, counter hit a guy, absorb a hit, turn it into a 50-50 battle instead of going for the all or nothing, because he went for the all or nothing again and turned the puck over, and the Oilers spent a minute in their zone. And I was just like, I get it starts with Evan Bouchard just kind of being like, oh, well, here you go. It's okay, guys. Like, it's we can go. I'm just gonna kind of go, and maybe he hits me, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to kind of sidestep and make a skill. Oh no, he took the puck. Oh, I'm gonna go over here. Like, it's just
what is he, Eeyore?
Well, that yes,
yeah, maybe
yes.
I still like him moving forward. I think he's got to find that though in his game. I'm not going to disagree with you on that, buddy.
No, I didn't say get rid of the guy. There's elements of his game that drive me nuts, and that's one of them.
He gets a pass from me this year. I just feel
I don't give him no pass.
But next year, oh my God, he's.
Well, man, if Puljujärvi's gone next year, this guy's done. Like, he's dead. The city, the city will tear him apart, man.
Justy,
I feel bad for him
because I mean, going into next year, all of a sudden you have the Vin man. And you got to think Niemelainen's
Barry and CC are still under contract too, right? So,
like, you're running out.
No, Barry's going to be gone because Carlson's here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I forgot.
Right.
Yeah, get your facts straight.
I like this. B-Font. So the chat's going good today. B-Font says Bouchard needs to stage a photo in the summer of himself throwing hay bales to get the media off his back. Just a good hay bale throw. Look at Bouchard. He's throwing hay bales. This is unbelievable. And then Thomas is asking, why wouldn't the media turn against Yamamoto instead? And I don't know. I think Yamo, because he's little, always kind of gets a pass. Nobody ever says a bad thing about him. So he's waiting to get back into the lineup. And when he does, he does get more offensive opportunity than any of these other guys that we classify as 10 to 15 goal guys. So we'll see.
Definitely some push-ups, not on the back of a Mastercraft boat drinking a White Claw. That won't work.
That's not going to work. You're right. All right, before we wrap up, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania comes out tonight. The beginning of Marvel Phase 5. Sorry to go full nerd on you here for a second. Is this one that you guys are like? If I wasn't leaving town after this, I'd probably go to this movie tonight or tomorrow night. I want to see it. I'm very interested to see where they kind of set things up with the Quantumania with these guys. Is this one you guys are excited for?
Yeah. I'm excited for it because you get the introduction of the next bad guy, really. And I know we saw him a little bit in Loki.
We're going to see a lot of Kang moving forward, right? Like, yeah,
right. Because he's going to be kind of a thread that ties anything they do together. So, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, this is. I'm looking forward to something a little darker, I guess. You know, I liked Wakanda. I didn't like it as much as most. Thor didn't really do it for me, so
I didn't mind Thor. It was a little too.
It was okay.
It wasn't tied in enough to the overall bigger picture, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that one had so much potential and could have been so much more, and it just kind of was like,
I felt it was tough coming off of Ragnarok, which I think is one of the greatest Marvel movies ever. You know, like from a Thor, like you're not going to top Ragnarok. I think they tried to, and it backfired.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, but you know, Dusty, I'm just looking forward to Sunday with Last of Us. That's my.
You're playing the game now and everything. Hey, like you're fully.
The family
the game is pretty sweet.
The family has come together over this. The other night, my son dragged me up to his room, like literally dragged me up there, put me on the PS5, and said, "Start playing." And I found I wasn't even playing the game at certain points. I was just watching because the story was so intriguing. It's an unreal game. And one of the best stories I've played in a video game in a long time.
I might have to try that myself at some point. Rangers in town. Let's wrap with this. Rangers, they come in, they're rolling. They've won, I think, 6 in a row. They're scoring over 5 goals per game. Cass, for what's happened to the Oilers the last couple of games, what's your feeling for the Rangers here in Edmonton on Friday night?
Well, I think just like they have done, I think we see them rise to the occasion. But it's going to be a challenge because you could rise to the occasion and still lose.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
To me, if I'm looking at a team in the East that's comparable to Edmonton in the West, it's the New York Rangers. High offensive power, gives up something on defense. The difference being that the Rangers have a Vezina caliber goalie.
Yeah.
Right. And they rely on him a little bit, which is why I don't know.
Mind you, Fox and Trouba's pretty good on the blue line. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Well, you have Trouba. That's the difference. Like Fox, you know, there you go. You have your,
they got the two kind of defensemen covered, right?
Right. You have your pieces there. So they have some guys, but still, I would say they give up some defensively, knowing that they're going to have a high-powered offense. And with Tarasenko coming in, like this group is going to put up goals, and it's a type of group like if Edmonton gives them any kind of freebies, you're in serious trouble because they're going to just generate. Like they're going to score some good, high-quality goals where you're defending well, and just because of their skill and their offensive ability, they can put the puck in the net. So I'm not nervous because I'm like, okay, well, Edmonton, I think they elevate their game here for this one, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's gonna be a tough game to win. It's gonna be a tough weekend to win. Like I think if you come out of this 1-1, these next two games,
you get 2 points of these.
I think you're happy.
You're good. Yeah.
Yep.
Have to be there. Gager, what do you think?
I like the fact that I think the Rangers play a style that will push the Oilers into that physicality kind of way that they played against Detroit in Detroit and against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think they need to be motivated to get to that level. I don't know why they can't do it on their own, but I think playing the Rangers, there's that, like Cass said, they're high powered, and there's the fear of getting embarrassed too, right? And I think that's, if they don't bring their A game, they know that there's a possibility that they could be crushed. And usually in those cases, the Oilers do raise the level of their game to match their opponents. So I look to them having that full 60 minutes. It'll be a good game. It always is a good game from when they play the Rangers.
Well, enjoy the weekend, boys. Family Day Monday, so no episode. Maybe we'll do a Tuesday episode. I think we dive back into it on Tuesday if that's good with you guys. So let's try to plan for that. And enjoy these 2 hockey games, guys. And if you do get to go see that new Marvel movie, no spoilers. Don't text me. That's it. We'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.
Later, boys.